Hello, friends. Welcome back to Heartscapes, where we are exploring and practicing Reiki at the intersection of self-reflection, spiritual practice, and social action. Welcome back to our 21-day journey with Reiki and poetry. We are on day 14. I took a little bit of a break this weekend. I was out of town, couldn't do filming, so we skipped the weekend and we're back on Monday with day 14. My name is Michaela, and I'm really excited to have another guest with me today. This is Christian from Standing Stones Healing. And he and I have been in collaboration in the virtual world for a little short period of time. Christian runs a business collaborative for Reiki practitioners, which has been super helpful and supportive for the people inside. I just really appreciate your generosity and your kind heart in the way that you share your experience and make space for other people to share theirs in community. It feels really good to be in that sort of space. So I was really excited when you decided to step into this space and share a poem with us. So welcome.
Thank you, Michaela. Such an honor to be here. I appreciate your kind words, and I appreciate the invitation and the opportunity to join you for this really great project. So thank you.
Absolutely. Christian, is there anything else you'd like to share with folks about your practice or any other aspect of your work? And then I'd love to invite you to introduce us to the poem that you're going to share today.
Oh, great. Thank you so much, Michaela. Yes, I specialize in using Reiki, card reading, and coaching for life changes. So I have a real passion for supporting people, encouraging their transformation during life changes and transitions. And so, I'm always excited by the spring, which is always a wonderful transition. So, just very excited by the transition of spring and find it to be so inspiring on many levels. And so I'm very honored to offer a poem specifically for this series that I wrote for the series. I'm very honored to be able to do that. So thank you, Michaela. And a poem that really reflects upon the season and the transition of the season.
That's perfect. Yeah, I mean, as you know, this series really came about as a way of being intentional about that transition from one season to the next. And my hope and what I've experienced over the years of working with these kinds of formats is that there's something really important about we as people and as communities in intentionally turning back into that cycle of the season. We've really kind of almost chosen as a species to kind of step outside of those cycles, to kind of feel ourselves to be exempt from them in a certain way, manipulating them in a variety of ways. And that's really to our detriment, as I know that you know. And so even just taking a few days to pay attention to the fact that we are about to transition from one season to the next, that looks incredibly different depending on where we are in the world. But being in that moment of transition can be really important, just resting our attention on it and taking that pause to kind of harvest the gifts and the experiences from the previous season, thanking and releasing that season, and then turning into the next. So I love that you've written a poem specifically for that purpose. So we are going to take just a moment to drop in to our meditation, and then I will invite you to read the poem in the midst of it. All right, friends. So we're going to settle into our meditation, this practice based on Joshin Kokyoho, a method to focus the mind, and beginning to bring our attention to the posture of our body. In this practice, we're bringing together the postures of our body, our breath, and our mind to draw us into a place for meditation. So just taking a moment to notice if your body needs any adjustment, to feel supported and held, to feel upright in an easeful way, and letting the structure of your body hold you. And then from the support of that structure, inviting and allowing the muscles of your belly, of your shoulders, of your jaw to gently relax with the exhale. Just noticing if there's any places where you're holding tension and just inviting them gently to relax. And as we invite our body to settle in to a posture of practice, we'll invite the breath by gently resting our attention on the sensation of the breath moving in and out of the body. Allowing a gentle inhale and exhale. While we continue to allow our belly to be soft. And with the softness of our belly, we'll invite the breath to come in and down and move down lower in the body, allowing the belly to expand gently and contract gently. And as we do, with an even deeper layer of intention, I invite us to rest our attention on that movement of the breath, focusing our mind on the movement of the breath in and down, following the inhale all the way down to the low belly. And practicing resting our attention, focusing our mind on the point just below the belly button and deep into the center of the body. The energy center known as the hara in Japanese. Let's just take a few breaths, drawing our attention here. And as you continue to breathe in this way, drawing your attention in and down, I invite you to begin to imagine that here at the center of the low belly, you find a spark of light, a spark of life, just dwelling here at all times at your center. And as this spark of life comes into focus, either in your imagination or in your senses, begin to notice that it is a seed, a spark of potential and life encased within a nourishing, protective shell. One which has been resting and softening throughout the winter and is just about ready to open. Let's take a few breaths, just rest our attention on this seed of potential at our center. As we feel the life inside of this seed ready to expand and grow in all directions, ready to burst forth in the springtime, I invite you to receive the words of this poem, draw them in and down, and nourish the seed with them. As Christian shares these words with us.
Ruins. The vestiges of winter return to the earth. Brown stubs of corn stalks, dried vines on the trellis, withered and stiff grass fade into the clay, get carried off in a beak, break apart in the garden soil. And if I can dig deep into the dirt, what thin piece of my skin might slough off, might find its way to the worms, might mix with the ruins of the season. In the steady turning of an emerging earth, what words will fail us then, falter in our mouths, make us realize that we can't quite explain what it all really means?
Take a few moments to sit with the words and imagery of this poem, noticing what is there for you in this moment. As you breathe in and down into your center. And as you continue to breathe, I invite you to allow to arise inside of you a feeling of gratitude for the sometimes challenging and always nourishing presence of winter in our cycle of life. As we take these final steps through winter of this cycle, I invite you to be in the question, what are the gifts that winter brought you this year? What is it that is being composted in you to nourish that seed at your center, ready to burst forward with potential? And as we just hold that question and that gratitude, let's take 5 more breaths together. And on your next round of breath, I invite you to follow your exhale back up and out in your own time, re-entering the spaces around you. And when you feel ready, giving yourself a gesture of completion. Welcome back. Christian, how did it feel to read that poem into this space?
Well, thank you very much. It was very lovely. So, thank you. Much appreciated. And I'm very honored to be able to do so. So, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I love that you brought us this winter imagery, right? Because I feel like so often, especially in this particular turn from winter to spring, we can often, really want to be on the other side, right? Like really want, we're like the readiness for the warmer times, the more lively times, to leave behind those feelings of cold and of rest. And, for those of us who work with some winter depression, or that, you know, sometimes like hard times just feel more prominent in winter. And it can be easy to forget to hold on to the gifts that are there, right? And this metaphor of composting, of sloughing off, of things going into the earth and, transforming from something dead into something viable, is really important for us to hold on to metaphorically, to be aware of, like actually happening outside and all around us, and to be attentive to the way in which that actually also happens inside of us. So I really love that you brought that imagery specifically for us. Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. So friends, for those of you following along on these videos, we really appreciate you joining us. If you're interested in learning more about Christian's work, we'll have links to it below in the show notes. And we hope that you'll continue to join us for this series as we make our way to the spring equinox on March 21st. And as you continue about your day, as you take each step towards the equinox in your own way, may you be deeply provisioned for that journey. We'll see you again tomorrow. Thanks so much. Love you.